one-legged variations of your traction back bend poses. Namaste everyone. Welcome to another episode of On the Mat, and then with us this week is Raphael. In this week's class, we are going into a flow-based practice based on last week's theme, which is front bend back bends, one-legged variations of your traction back bend poses. So on June 21st, our school is also going to celebrate a very special day, International Yoga Day. To commemorate this special day, our school is having an entire day of free virtual classes. If you are interested then to explore taking classes with me and my teaching team, then book your classes by going to our website and finding the schedule there, or you might be using the Mind Body app to find the class and book. So last week we had a special giveaway. Thank you all you 19 participants who have chosen to take part, and Raphael today is going to be the one that is going to be announcing the winners.
Okay. And our first winner is Yogi Moo. So you have won the fruit smoothies from Kenko. Okay, our second winner, we are going to have Tina Travels. So Tina Travels, you have won the 10 virtual class package. Let's see who's the lucky one for one last winner. And we are going to go with Tuli the Happy Guy. Tuli the Happy Guy, you're our last and final winner for the 10 virtual class package. Okay, thank you to all three and all of our participants actually in the challenge. It was great fun seeing your flows posted on Instagram. Do join us for future challenges.
Begin your practice from child's pose with your feet and knees together, resting your hips over the ankles, and as you rest the head on the mat in front of you, you have your arms extending forwards to gain length in the body. If the eyes are open initially, close them and take your first few moments to arrive and connect with your breathing. Deep long breaths in, finding length in the body and the expansion in your chest. Deep long breaths out, lengthening in the opposite direction and pulling the navel inwards towards your spine. Engaging the ujjayi, which is a gentle constriction or resistance in your throat against your breathing, to help you deepen, lengthen, and regulate your breath. Make the inhalation just as deep and long as the exhalation. In a moment, I will invite you to move the body, and as you do so, try to understand how the breath moves the body, not you. So with the next deep inhalation, the expansion of the chest leads you to lift the body up to a kneeling position, arms overhead. Good, and with your exhale coming back down to child's pose position with length. Again, try again. Inhale up. Good. Exhale down. Stay connected with the breath. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now a deeper movement. Inhale. As you lift the arms up, also lift your hips, stacking them over your knees. Good. Exhale, come forwards, child's pose position. Inhale, rising up again, and stay connected with your breath. Lift up your hips. Good. Exhale, come forward, resting in child's pose. Again, with the breath, inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, inhale, take your deepest, longest breath. Good. Understanding how to transition from a back bend to a front bend. Exhale. Maintaining length as you make this transition. Next, inhale, rise up to tabletop, which is a hands and knees position, and begin to arch your body, lifting the chin as you lift the tailbone. Next, exhale, rock back, child's pose position. Good. Rise up again, tabletop, arch your spine, cow pose. And with the exhale, child's pose position on the mat again. From a front bend to a back bend, from a back bend to a front bend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, child's pose. Okay, let's do something slightly different. Inhale, glide forward as close to the mat as you can, elbows bent, to find a baby cobra. Lift the heart gently and keep the elbows hugging close. Exhale, pushing back. Again, try to keep as low towards the mat as you can. Child's pose position. Again, with the breath, inhale, baby cobra. Try to become a little bit lighter in your hands. Exhale, child's pose position. Good. One more, baby cobra. Inhale. This one, perhaps you have your hands slightly lifted from the mat. You are awakening all the muscles in the posterior chain. Exhale, child's pose position. This one, you can curl the toes under the feet and gently guide the knees off the mat to bring yourself up to your first downward facing dog pose. Okay, and we have time here if you wish to paddle out your feet, sway your hips, or open your shoulders. Prepare the body for your practice. When you're ready, come up on tiptoes. Inhale, hips high. Bring heels down to the mat. Exhale. Good. Again, tiptoes up on the inhale. And bring heels down to the mat. Exhale. Next breath to lift up your right leg. Three-legged dog. Let's take a few moments here, understanding what it means to be squaring the hips. As you are lifting your right leg, you keep it active. There is a lift of the kneecap. Choose if you want to extend through the toes or through the heels. That means point or flex, whichever position feels the most comfortable and keeps the leg active. Next, make a front bend, make a tucked position. Bring the left knee in a tuck towards the chest. Rock your shoulders forward, stack the shoulders above the wrist. Now try to transition to a back bend. Inhale, bring the foot up and over towards the head, and even you lift the head up towards your foot. Beautiful. Send it back to three-legged dog position. Inhale, kick back and lengthen. Exhale, both feet down, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lift for three-legged dog. Sorry, that is the left leg. Exhale, gently, gently bring the knee to the chest. Good. Inhale, reverse this. Foot towards head and head towards foot. Stay connected in this beautiful movement. And lengthen back to three-legged dog. Sending both feet down, downward facing dog. Good. Now let's come up on tiptoes on the inhale. Bring knees to the chest. Exhale and looking forwards. Next, inhale to step to the front of the mat. Take a halfway lift. Good. Forward bend. Exhale. Belly towards thigh. Chest towards knee. Chin towards the shin. Take a few breaths in Uttanasana. Your standing forward bend can be done with the knees slightly bent if there is any feeling of tightness in the hamstrings or discomfort in the lower back. Good. Explore from here to come up gently to a standing position for the first round. Do it slowly. Take your time, no rush, and lengthen upwards. Good. Now come back down to a forward bend, Uttanasana. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Beautiful. Maintain length, exhale, come down. And again, rise up to standing, reach upwards. This round, can you start to send the hips forward slightly and reach the arms slightly further back as you lift the heart. It becomes a very gentle standing back bend. And from your standing back bend, come down directly to a forward bend and see how that feels in your body. So a few things to note here. Now continue to hold. that whenever you transition from a back bend to a front bend, you are mindful to maintain lengthening of the spine and you avoid too much flexion or too much rounding of the back. Ideally, you come forward with a straight spine, almost like a halfway lift. With this understanding, let's practice a few more rounds to make a transition from a back bend to a front bend. Inhale again, rise up and go directly into a standing back bend. Good. Exhale, come forward and come directly to a forward bend. Good. Stay with the breath. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, front bend. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot halfway back with the left foot. Both legs straight. Inhale, look up. And exhale, forward bend. Going into the hamstring stretch of the right leg, creating length in the right hamstring. Mindful to square the hips. As you bring the right hip back, you bring the left hip forwards. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release by stepping the back foot forwards to the front of the mat again. Take a halfway lift. Inhale. And on the exhale, step your right foot back, left foot forwards. Inhale, straight legs, squared hips, and nice long spine. Good. Exhale, forward bend. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Steps the back foot to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward bend. Good. Rising up to standing, perhaps a gentle back bend. Inhale. Mindful of the transition between front and back. And exhale, fold. Take a halfway lift. Inhale. And as you step your left foot, this time step it all the way to the back with the left knee down. Good. Stay with the hands on the mat and guide the hips forward. Turn to the right. Use your right hand to try catching your right foot from behind the body. So lift the heel up towards the buttock. And those of us unable to reach the foot, you might have to lift the hip a little bit higher. Or just stay in a normal low lunge position. Here you bring the heel of the foot close to the hip. And this creates a stretch in your quad and hip flexor, preparing your body. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, release. Curling the back toes under, lift your back knee off the mat. Ground your back heel inwards towards the center line. Good. Adjust the distance between front leg, back leg accordingly, that you are able to maintain the squareness of your hip. Next breath, lifting up to Warrior 1. Good. Direct your gaze upwards. Left hip moving forwards, right hip moving back. There is an inner leg engagement to achieve this. There is length in the lower back as you work to mobilize the upper body a little bit more. Good. And as you exhale, release the hands down to the mat. Step your right foot back to 3-legged dog position again, still with the squareness. Exhale, bring that right knee to tuck. Inhale, reverse this to a back bend. Foot towards head, head towards foot. Extend it back to 3-legged dog. Good. As you bring the feet down, take your option if you wish to incorporate a vinyasa. Come forward with the elbows bent to Chaturanga Tadasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Your vinyasa is optional or can be in accordance to the options that make it less intense. That means you can do a knees, chest, chin instead of a low push-up, for example. Good. Now come up and tiptoes in the inhale. Bring knees to chest, looking forwards, exhale. Next breath, to step carefully to the front of the mat. In a halfway lift, look up and lengthen your body. Exhale to forward bend, belly towards thigh, chest towards knee, chin towards shin. Inhale to rise up and perhaps a gentle back bend. From a back bend to a front bend, exhale, managing this once again by mindfully maintaining length in your body. Inhale, halfway lift. When you're ready, step your right foot back, right knee down. Exhale to a low lunge shape. Inhale, send your left hand back, holding the right foot from behind the body. Exhale as you guide the heel of that foot in close to your hip. Create for yourself a hip flexor stretch and a quad stretch. And this helps to create space for your practice. More space for you to mobilize your hips in your back bend, which then alleviates pressure from the lower back. Good. Next, can you guide the back foot down to the mat again, lowering both hands down. Curl the toes under and lift up your back knee. Ground the heel inwards towards the center line of the mat. Decide on the distance between the legs as appropriate to maintain squareness of your hips. Inhale to rise up to a warrior one position, Virabhadrasana. Good. Upwards expression following with your gaze. Firmness in the foundation, equal footing, back and front leg. Ujjayi breath, inhaling into the chest, exhale from the navel. One more breath, extending upwards. And that'll do. Come down to the mat, exhale. And take your left foot back. Inhale from a three-legged dog position. To tuck the knee to the chest, exhale, strong tuck. Inhale, strong back bend. Very nice. Three-legged dog, send that leg back and decide if you want to come to down dog for a few breaths or practice a vinyasa. Beautiful, with straight spine and heels grounding. Now from downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, coming up on tiptoes, inhale. Bringing knee to chest, exhale, and looking forwards. Next, inhale, walk, jump, or float to the front. Good. Exhale, forward bend, belly towards thigh, chest towards knee, and chin towards shin. Rising up then to standing, give ourselves a big, beautiful stretch, maybe a gentle back bend. Good, and then forward bend again. Exhale, let's work with the breath now, starting to move as you breathe. Inhale, halfway lift. Good, exhale, left foot back, warrior one. Inhale, arms up, open chest and shoulders. Exhale as you bring hands down, right foot back, three-legged dog. Exhale, tuck position, right knee to chest. Inhale, back bend. Good, on the exhale, vinyasa or downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, knees to chest and looking forwards. Inhale, you might hop to the front, but please land lightly. Oh, so lightly. Exhale, forward bend. Good, do a standing back bend. Inhale, mindful to always maintain length. Come down to the mat, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot back, warrior one. Exhale, find your footing. Inhale, upper body. Good. Exhale, three-legged dog. Send the left foot back, inhale. Tuck position, exhale, knee to chest. Back bend, inhale, maybe touching the foot to the head today. Good. Chaturanga Tadasana, exhale. Or knees, chest, chin. Upward dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Come up on tiptoes, inhale. Both knees to chest and looking forwards. exhale. Walk, jump or float to the front, inhale. Very beautiful. Forward bending, exhale. Now for the next few breaths, your standing back bend. Take your time this time. As you maintain this standing back bend, you need to continue to breathe. Find a way to maintain that beautiful breath. Take the option to support your lower back with your hands. You don't have to lift the arms overhead like what Raphael is doing. Only do so if you feel you are able to maintain a soft but firm protection of your spine with the engagement of the core. Find your core awakening by hug your legs inwards. And your regulated breathing as you focus on extending, lengthening, expanding. Good. Now slowly release, come up the same way we came down. Take all the time you need to. Hold the opposite elbows with the hands. Separate the legs slightly. Keep the knees bent so as to maintain a nice, healthy, straight spine. And hang the body from your hips. Gentle side to side rocking motion. Good. When you're ready, build yourself up to Tadasana. Slowly rise back up to Samastitihi. Slowly come back to standing. And stay with the feet together on the mat and arms down the length of your sides. Good. Starting to balance here from this position. Balancing on the right leg, let's lift the left knee up to the chest. Hold the knee with your left hand as you bring the right hand to the hip. Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. Ensure that your hips are squared, you are maintaining a healthy length on both sides of the body, and that you are rooted and grounded in the four corners of the right foot. You take the option, if you feel ready to do this, then grab the big toe and explore extending the leg like what Raphael is doing. But again, it should not compromise your vertical spine. Good. Shoulders are squared, that means left shoulder pull back. Hips are squared, that means left hip pull back. Today is a transition from a front bend to a back bend. Carefully bring the foot in again. The arm is on the outside of your leg. And flip to find Natarajasana, dancer pose. Right arm up, inhale. Kick back, exhale, and slowly take your time. Using the strong kick of the back leg to find the height of that foot. Using the strong lift of the right shoulder to awaken your back muscle engagement, your posterior chain. Standing grounded in the four corners of the right foot, you might micro bend the knee to find more stability and space. When you're ready, the next transition wants you to bring the right hand down, touching the mat. So please bend your right knee if it facilitates this, otherwise keep it straight. Good, you are now in Chapasana, sugarcane pose, so you are free to explore kicking that leg again away from the body. Good. Stay light on the fingertips supporting this movement. As you now release that foot and extend. Extend your arm, extend your leg. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon balancing pose. Let's use this pose to transition us to warrior two. Slowly drop down. Arms extending from fingertip to fingertip. Front of the knee stacks above the ankle of the foot. Beautiful openness in the front of your hips. Strong front leg and straight back leg. Reach forward with the right arm. Let's do a reverse warrior from this position. Inhale, lengthen the right side body. Good. Take a few breaths here. Every exhale, left hand crawls deeper. Every inhale, right hand extends further. Beautiful. Exhale, now come down to the mat, both hands down. You will take your right foot back to three-legged dog, but this time, swing your right leg up and over to the left. And find beautiful length in the front and sides of your body. Good. As you exhale into a tuck, can you tuck towards your left arm? That means twist. Right knee trying to touch the left arm. Good. Extend your right foot to the left side of the mat. Choose to keep it on the mat or floating. And lift the left arm for a fallen triangle pose. We stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1, bring both hands down to the mat. Transition this to a gentle back bend. Lift up again to 3-legged dog. Swing the leg again, up and over. And if it feels right for your body, set the right foot down on the ground behind you as you lift up your right hand. Inhale, hip high, chest open. Kamatkarasana. You have the option today as you explore Wild Thing. Those of us that can reach the mat with the right hand. And flip to a wheel pose position. Urdhva Dhanurasana. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3. And again, this is just an option too. Don't feel that you need to do this particular transition. You can still stay in Wild Thing, for example. Good. Now let's flip it back slowly. Downward facing dog or a vinyasa. Beautiful, beautiful practice. From downward dog, on the inhale, walk, jump or float to the front. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, we rise up, lengthening the body. Gentle back bend if that feels nice. Few breaths to back bend. Support the lower back with your hands if you need to. Good. Exhale again. Legs slightly wider, knees slightly bent. Hands holding the opposite elbows. Rocking the body side to side. Good. And then slowly release by coming back up. Samastitihi. Neutral standing position. Now we balance on the left leg as we bring the right knee up to the chest. With your left hand to the hip, the right hand holds the knee in position, and you work on staying stable and balanced with the squareness of the hips and shoulders and the length you maintain in both sides of your body. Taking the option, if you wish, to hold the big toe with the peace fingers and thumb, extending the leg as straight as you can, as lifted as possible without losing the alignment. Stay strong. It helps you awaken at the front of your hip, and even as it starts to awaken the back of the body. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Flip it back. Remember, the arm is on the outside of the leg to achieve this transition. You hold the foot from the inside, and you extend the left arm up. Inhale for 1 breath. Exhale, slowly kick. Try kicking without lifting the right buttock to keep the hips squared so that the transition becomes a lot more stable. From dancer pose, you find the height of the leg with a strong and firm engagement. Good. The lift of the left arm. Yes. Then have the left hand come down gently to touch the mat and stay light. Take your next few breaths kicking back that leg. Shavasana. Sugarcane pose. Finding the openness in your hips. Start to release that leg and make a transition to Chandrasana. Half moon. Balancing pose. Create length. Beautiful, and stay light on the foundation hand. And that'll do. Step back. Warrior 2. Virabhadrasana. Strong front leg. Straight back leg. The flow of the air that enters and leaves the body. And your laser-like gaze, your drishti, past your left shoulder, past your left fingertips, single-pointedness, to give that same laser-like sharpness in your mind. When you're ready, reverse this. Reach the left arm up, slide the right arm down your back leg. Inhale to create more length on the left side of the body. Exhale to create more depth by crawling the right fingertips deeper. Stay for a few breaths here. Good. And when you're ready, both hands down, left leg back. Your 3-legged dog swings the leg up and over with control. Swing the foot up and over to gain length in the side and front of your body. Good. As you bring that knee to the chest, let's twist to try touching the right arm with the left knee. As high towards the shoulder as you can. As you extend your left leg, take the option to keep that leg floating. As you lift the right arm up, strong left arm foundation, the hips high, beautiful inner legs. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. With both hands down, you take your left foot back and up and over. Good. As you set the left foot down behind you, left hand lifts, the body flips up, the hips high and the chest open. The left hand reach for the front of the mat. If you can, set it down and turn your grip. Find your way to Urdhva Dhanurasana, wheel pose position as an option, or just remain in vaulting pose and work on expanding into the outward curve. Good. And that'll do. Flip it back, gently taking your time, no rush. Downward facing dog or do a vinyasa. Beautiful practice. From your downward facing dog, lifting the right leg up. Inhale for 3-legged dog. Good. Bring the knee to the chest in the tucked position again. And then find your scorpion position. Inhale, foot towards head, head towards foot. Good. And from one more tuck position, set the right foot forwards on the mat in front of you. Lower your left knee down. Low lunge pose. Arms up. Good. Exhale, keep the arms extending and lengthen the lower back as you allow the hips to sink. Finding length in the lower back and creating a stretch on the front of your left hip. Beautiful. Every inhale you might start to reach for something just behind you, taking this into a gentle back bend. Ensure you understand to lift the heart upwards as you bring the arms back to achieve this. So you are always expanding into the outward curve. You can take the option here, instead of reaching the arms overhead, hands can be on either side of the body supporting instead. Okay. Exhale. Now gently come back up to neutral position and pull your hips back to straighten your front leg. With the hands on the mat supporting Ardha Hanumanasana, half monkey pose. Inhale, lengthen upwards. Exhale, carefully forward bending. Good. Maintaining length in your spine as you transition from a back bend to a forward bend to ensure a healthy movement of the spine. And creating length in the right hamstring for 5, 4, 3, 2, good, and 1. Now, see if you can gently slide your left knee back, making a transition to the full monkey pose, coming to a front split. As you lower down, mindful of the squareness of your hips, actively bring the right hip back and send the left hip forwards. Check that your back knee should be pointing downwards, both legs more or less parallel with the long side of your mat. Just a reminder, when you do a front split, those of us that are not able to go into the full expression like what Raphael is doing, can facilitate this practice by supporting the front hip with a block. Staying here, or take the option to incorporate again a back bend. With the left hand, try holding on to your left foot, bringing that foot close to the hip to deepen the stretch in quad and hip flexor. And from here, you might be expressing Najinasana, mermaid pose, by bringing foot to crook of the elbow, clasping the hand either in front of the chest or behind the head. Those of us that have a flip grip in your practice, then holding your flexed foot from the inside, palm facing up like a waiter serving a tray to set yourself up. Next, pull the foot in close to the shoulder and bring the elbow forward as it lifts. Once you have fully flipped your grip, work on bringing the head towards the foot and foot towards the head. Good. Back bend, front bend. One leg in flexion, one leg in beautiful hyperextension, continuing the line of your spine. As you exhale, release, slowly, take your time, no rush. Think about reversing the movement. That means come down the same way as you came up. And with your hands on the mat in front of you, slide your right foot back as you lift your hip up. Good. Moving to downward facing dog or one vinyasa. From downward facing dog, let's do this on the opposite side. Inhale, left leg, lift for three-legged dog. Good. Exhale, find your tuck, knee to the chest. From a front bend to a back bend. Inhale, foot towards head and head towards foot. Beautiful range of motion. Exhale with your tuck, set your left foot forwards to the front of your mat. And lower the right knee down, lifting the arms up for Anjaneyasana, low lunge pose. Exhale as you sink the hips down, maintaining a healthy lengthening of the lower back. Inhale, gently lift the heart upwards as you reach back with the arms for something just behind you. And stay expanding into the outward curve here. Again, you might have the option to have your hands in a more comfortable way, supporting the body. Or keep lifting the arms overhead. Good. Exhale. Now as you bring yourself back to neutral position, have your hands on the mat supporting the lengthening of your front leg straight. Take a breath in to lengthen your spine, and again, very important to keep that length of the spine as you exhale, coming down to stretch your left hamstring. The safest way to transition from a back bend to a front bend is to always be mindful to keep that length in the body. Not too much rounding of the back. Good. When you're ready, Hanumanasana. Slowly sliding the right leg back. If you have space to slide the left foot forward, you can do that as well. You can think about sliding both legs essentially away from each other. You are going to balance the outward movement of the legs with an inward squaring movement of your hips to keep everything stable and squared with a good alignment. Good, and once you are comfortable in your Hanuman, good. Here, Raphael is flexing his front and back foot. This helps to facilitate your alignment as well as stability from an activation of your legs. Next, you have the option here to reach the right hand back and hold the foot. Staying in a quad stretch, a hip flexor stretch on the back leg, or taking it into Najinyasana, mermaid pose. The foot goes into the crook of the elbow, the hands clasp, and bringing the head underneath the left shoulder. And those of us that wish might be flipping the grip instead. Take your time, no rush. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3. Expanding into the outward curve, distributing your back bend for 2. And 1, carefully release, reverse your movement to bring yourself back to Hanumanasana. Place your hands on the mat in front of you and gently sweep your left foot back, coming to a downward facing dog or one vinyasa. One vinyasa to downward facing dog. Good, and let's jump through to land in a seated position. And from your seated pose, lie back, lying flat on the mat in a supine position. Good, lying face up on the mat. Walking the feet in close to the hips, you will have your feet close enough that the hands are able to touch the heels of the feet. Your feet and knees should not be wider than the distance of your hips, and you lie with a nice straight spine supported on the mat. Good, we begin now a practice of the bridge pose, Setu Bandha Saravangasana, was practiced in last week's basic level class. Let's see if we can apply what we have learned today. Inhale, lift up your hips. Good. As you lift hips up, maintain stability by hugging the legs inwards towards each other. Next, walk the arms underneath the chest to see if you can clasp the hands together. And even you squeeze the elbow shoulder blades together underneath the body. Noticing how that helps you to mobilize the upper body. Then work on lifting the chest upwards towards your chin. In this way, hips are mobilized, upper body is mobilized, back bend becomes more distributed. Now stay here, or the option of bringing the left knee to the chest to find the front bend, back bend expression. Good. As you extend your left leg upwards, do that as an option if it feels open enough for you. And that'll do. Exhale, left foot comes down, and try this with the right leg. As you lift the right knee to the chest, mindful to not lower the hip or lose the alignment in the upper body. And take your option. If it feels nice to extend the leg, please do so. Mindful of the alignment of your hips, keeping the hips squared. Good. Exhale, both feet down, and you can gently lower down to rest, taking a few breaths. With your knees to the chest, hold the knees with both your hands. That can help you release any feeling of compression still there in the lower back. Good. So we have the option to repeat that practice again in a bridge pose. But those of us that feel ready to do a wheel pose position, then let's prepare for this second round with the hands instead on either side of your head. Good. Prepare by hugging the elbows inwards towards each other, even as you hug the legs inwards towards each other. Lifting the body in 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, coming up to bridge. Good. Or if you are doing a wheel pose, you will fully extend out your arms. Making your adjustment in wheel pose, you might have the feet or arms closer towards each other. Same practice to keep hugging your legs inwards to find more mobility in the lower back. Lengthen your tailbone down to give more space. Find more mobility in the chest by drawing together the shoulders behind you, even as you work to push the heart towards the end wall that you are gazing at. Now stay here or take the option, lifting one knee up in a tuck position, and perhaps even extending that leg to find Ekapada, Urdhva Dhanurasana, one-legged wheel pose. Now bring that leg down and slowly, slowly switch your legs. Stay with everything expanding outwards, strong arms and strong bottom leg foundation as you reach up. And that'll do. Release slowly, take your time to come down, tuck the chin to the chest to protect your neck as you lower the shoulders down to the mat, and then your hips. And in a tuck position, release any compression you are feeling in the lower back. Good. The wheel pose that we practiced in last week's essential level class. So one final practice today. Again, take your option. This could be a bridge pose, which you might explore one-legged variations. This could be a second wheel pose. For those of us that wish and were in the intermediate level class last week, perhaps you might try to practice what you were learning then. From a wheel pose, lowering the crown of the head down to the mat, clasping behind the head, and then from a forearm wheel position, take your option to see if you want to use your one-legged forearm wheel pose variation to kick yourself over, swinging the leg as you push from the bottom leg. And finding that beautiful momentum, awareness of where the hips are positioned along with your forearms. Beautiful. Now from your dolphin pose, try to reverse what you did. Swing and kick to find a beautiful drop back to wheel pose position again. Take your time, no rush. Bringing the chin to the chest. Perfect. Can you do that one more time, Raphael? Let's try. Swing and kick. Beautiful. And from dolphin pose, swing and balance yourself to flip yourself over again. Hiya. There you go. Perfect, so light. Mindful to lift yourself back up to a wheel pose position before lowering it down to the mat. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, chin to the chest, lower down slowly. Good, and then with the knees to the chest, hold the knees with your hands, find your tuck position, and rest the body. Raphael could be kicking over all day, but let's just do it 2 times. Good. Let's continue to recover as we lead our legs to the right for a reclining twist, or take your option, cross the left leg over the right as you twist to the right. And as you twist to the right, spread out your left arm and allow the head to roll to the left as well. Good. Allowing the breath to come back to normal and natural. And allow the twist to regain length in your body. That'll do. Exhale as you untwist. If you have crossed your legs one way, cross them the opposite way. Right leg over the left as you twist to the left. And then spread out your right arm and the head rolls to the right. And stay with the breath. Good. Exhale now, untwist, and let's bring it back to the center again. Spread the legs and hold the feet with the hands for a happy baby posture. Ananda Balasana. Good. The movement of the knees outwards away from the body, and stack your feet over your knees. The weight of the arms, gently pressing the feet downwards. As you do so, keep your tailbone grounding so that the back is not rounding. Today, can we challenge ourselves to come to a balancing pose? Start to grab your big toes. Good. And then inhale, try to rock your hips up as if going into a plow pose, and exhale, rock forward instead. Balance on your sit bones. Hiya. One more time. Hiya. There you go. And find that balance. Beautiful. Caught the balance. Legs are straight and wide apart. Closing the distance between upper and lower body. Good. Raphael, can you even gaze upwards? Lift your chin. Whoopsie. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly melt to the mat. Take your time. No rush. Okay. Arms and legs spread comfortably wide with the toes outwards, heels inwards, palms facing upwards, and the eyes gently closing to find Shavasana, corpse pose. Giving rest to the body. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining this sequence and flowing with Raphael and me. Keep practicing with joy in the body and peace in the heart. Namaste, and see you soon.